Production of Traveling Kansas, Salina is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from Salina Arts and Humanities is a department of the City of Salina and has served a unique role in arts advocacy and support since 1966. The Smoky Hill River Festival, Horizons Grants Program, Smoky Hill Museum, and Art a la carte concert series are among its programs. Sculpture Tour Salina is an outdoor exhibit of sculptures that changes each spring. You can tour the sculptures in downtown Salina and vote for your favorite piece.
We are Traveling Kansas.
Sculpture Tour Salina has been around now for 3 years. We're getting ready to start our 4th year. The way Sculpture Tour Salina came about is we had a group of chamber members went on an inner-city visit up into the South Dakota and Iowa area, and there was a community up there that had something similar. So we looked at that and we said, you know, that'd be a great thing for Salina. And so what we did is we looked and we said, we'd like this in downtown. And the reason we want it downtown is, those are mostly what we call ma and pa stores, and it'd be great to help them to bring foot traffic to the downtown area. So it's kind of an art project, but it's also an economic development project. So what we've done is we started out the first year with 19, I believe it was, sculptures. The second year we went to 22, and now we're up to 26. And we put them through the downtown on Santa Fe Avenue and Iron. And it's different, what we're also trying to do is bring different types of art to, you'll see representational and non-representational pieces. And the funny thing is I'll have individuals say, well, I really don't like that piece. And the thing I can say is, that's okay. In 11 months, we'll be taking it down. We'll be putting something up new. So that's always kind of fun, is that the landscape is always changing in downtown because the art's changing. This is a group of volunteers that does this. We have people that are involved in helping select the pieces that are submitted to us by the artists. We have a group that helps in the installation of the pieces. We have a group that also helps with the fundraising. We have a group that works with, we close the street down, or we have a street fair kind of for a couple, 3 hours on the day that we unveil all of them. So we have it's a group of volunteers, but it's a great private-public deal because the city has stepped up and said, we like what you're doing, and every year we will spend up to $15,000 to buy the People's Choice. And so that's what we've done. We've had the individuals vote, and the significant thing is you only get one vote. Per person. We keep a ledger that tells you exactly where, when you voted and what you voted for. And so in a lot of national elections, you're not sure if your vote really counts, as we've talked about earlier. But in this, the first 2 years, the difference between first and second place was less than 5 votes. So I tell people your vote does count when you do this. This last year, the piece we just picked, The Farmer, there was about a 12 to 15 vote. I don't remember exactly what that number was between the first and second place piece. So it's fun. You see, there's no age limit. You can be 105 or you can be 5. And so it's fun when you tell a child, we'll see them looking at it and we'll say, have you voted yet? And they kind of look at you like, well, I'm not old enough to vote. And we hand them a ballot and we said, if you're old enough to write your name, you're old enough to vote. So we think that's, an exciting part of this also, is that we're getting the youth involved in it. You'll see art classes downtown walking the street, and the instructor will be speaking of, what material did they use to make this and what process went to do that. So, there's a lot of educational opportunities also for this.
The value of Sculpture Tour to the community has been an interesting transition over the last 3 years. We've gone from a community that wasn't sure what it would mean to have sculptures in their public spaces. Some have not been excited about all of the work our office does, to now getting introduced to representational work, non-representational work, and abstract work that kind of grows on them throughout the year. And so I've noticed a wonderful transformation in the kind and quality of conversation that we've been able to have as a community, and that's been a real treasure to participate in.
You go to an art museum and you have to stand back and just kind of look at the pieces. A lot of times they'll say, do not touch. these you can go up and touch them, see what they're made of. We'll have times where you'll have a child up on one of the podiums, and you'll see somebody with their grandson with their arm around it, getting their picture taken. With some of the dogs, I've seen people that are walking their dogs put their dogs up there and take a picture of their dog with the dog that's actually a sculpture, you know. So yeah, it's really exciting to see that, you know. In fact, the first year, one of our local families that I knew, I was down there on a Sunday morning after church, and they had 3 kids, and they were jumping on one of the podiums and touching it, and I heard the mom yell, "Don't touch that, you'll break it." And I said, "No, it's fine, that's what it's there for," because it had some moving pieces. So, you know, that was, the kids just loved being up there, and they were able to make the piece move, and that's what it was there for, you know. It's made so it wouldn't break. I mean, we do make sure when we bring things in, you know, we watch to make sure it is safe for the environment. It has to be able to be outdoors. We send out a call to the artists every fall, and we have a list of artists, you know, throughout the country. That list also expands every year, and we send them a call, and they have to submit their piece, and they can submit up to 3 pieces to the jury. And then there's a separate jury that goes through, and without knowing the name or who the artist is, they go through and they grade every piece that is submitted. And then we take the 26 that get the highest votes. And so that's what we did this last year. I believe we had 70-some pieces submitted. So it's a tough call because, but we do have a certain requirements as far as size or quality, you know, what it's made of and things like that. So, but that jury selects those pieces, and then we have a contract we enter into with the artist, so the artist knows that their piece is going to be here from May of one year till April the next. And then they also know that that piece is eligible for the People's Choice. The farmer that we just selected this year as the People's Choice was actually listed for $20,000. That was the list price. But they have signed a contract with us that states if it is the People's Choice, they will sell it for $15,000.
This year's show has a great diversity of work, from the highly representational to the completely abstract, and all scales of work. A piece as small as 16 inches tall to another work that's about 16 feet tall. And the quality of the ask, the jurors who select the work for the show have helped raise the quality and diversity of the applicants. So that's been nice to see. And now in the 4th season of Sculpture Tour, there have been many comments from the community this year that have said, boy, the diversity is great. We love the scale. And that isn't from the arts community. That's from the general community. So that's been a nice transition to see.
This year we have 26 sponsors. We have a sponsor for each site. And most of these sponsors have been with us from the beginning. And then, you know, as we expanded, we had to go out and get new ones. And they've been real receptive. I think they see the importance of it to the community and to the downtown. And I think they like the fact that it's, you know, it reaches all age groups. It reaches everybody, you know, as far as whether it's representational or non-representational.
The fact that the works are here for a total of about 11 months, actually, that almost a year to come with it. They interact in different ways. Some is with enthusiasm and surprise when they first see the pieces, when the unveiling takes place. And then over and over again, I've had conversations with members of the community who say, you know, I really liked this one at first, but the longer I've lived with them, I now like this one, and I didn't ever expect that, you know. So their tastes change throughout the year just from the interactions that they have as they walk down the street, drive down the street, or get a close-up look at the work.
The first 2 years we sold 10 pieces. This year we've already sold 3. We have contracts signed, and we have interest in a couple, 3 others. So my goal would be to sell 5 to 6 again this year. And again, those pieces go throughout the community. We actually have one of the pieces that's bought this year that's going to go to a different community outside of Salina. So that'll be kind of fun.
There are over 21 pieces of art placed in public and private places throughout the community that weren't here 3 years ago because of Sculpture Tour. So yes, there have been wonderful responses by the community. The private sector has purchased pieces to put in front of banks and businesses, or that have gifted back to the city and said, we'd like to purchase this piece and keep it in the community, but we'd like for you to help determine where that might go. And then the public pieces from the People's Choice have also helped the public feel like that they have a voice, that their voice is important, and that their vote matters. And that's always nice to be able to give the community at every level and background the chance to participate in the creative process.
The one thing also is people from Salina are not the only ones that are eligible to vote. You know, we have a lot of out of town, and we also have out of state individuals that are in town visiting family or just traveling through. We had somebody from Virginia this last year that said they were traveling through. They saw we had an exhibit downtown and actually came downtown and voted, and some people got to talk to them. So it's kind of fun that we're seeing people from all over the country that are participating in the People's Choice Awards election.
The Sculpture Tour has provided Salina and visitors with an opportunity to approach sculpture in a fresh way that doesn't require the walls of a museum or a formal analysis through college professors. They get to come to the work on their own terms, and they get to do that with a variety of different media, a variety of subjects, and to learn and grow in their understanding of what the arts are and what their reaction to the arts can be. Many people in communities look at the arts as extra, as it's something teachers do when it's raining outside and to have recess, or that it's a hobby but it isn't a job. And I think that the arts are one of the most unique ways for a community to divine its energy, its vibrance, its creativity, and a sense of community through how they present themselves visually through the design of their parks, the architecture of their buildings, and the objects that they place on their streets and in public spaces. And so I never take the arts for granted. I think they've become a wonderful beacon to reflect just how special a community is.
Production of Traveling Kansas Salina is brought to you in part by an underwriting grant from Salina Arts and Humanities is a department of the City of Salina and has served a unique role in arts advocacy and support since 1966. The Smoky Hill River Festival, Horizons Grants Program, Smoky Hill Museum, and Art a la carte concert series are among its programs. Sculpture Tour Salina is an outdoor exhibit of sculptures that changes each spring. You can tour the sculptures in downtown Salina and vote for your favorite piece.